The April 8th, 2026 Building Code Board of Appeals. Kathy, could you do roll call, please?
Mr. Abathera?
Here.
Ms. Brooks?
Here.
Mr. Jezerman?
Here.
Mr. Friesen?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Quorum present, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Our next one will be the approval of minutes from the January 7th, 2026.
Move
to approve.
Second.
Second. Kathy, take the vote, please.
Ms. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Jezerman?
Yes.
Mr. Friesen?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Abathera?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, our next one is we're going to go to the hearing of the cases. Our first one is going to be a variance request for 2814 Rochester Road, and there are 3 items on that. We are going to hear each item separately. 1 will vote, 2 will vote, 3 will vote. We will start with a quick presentation from Dominic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I would just like to make a couple announcements, and that is that the City of Troy has attained one of the highest professional standards in the state of Michigan by employing inspectors who possess extensive, decades-long experience in their respective fields. This depth of expertise enables the city to perform code interpretations and determinations internally versus consulting with external municipalities. Additionally, please be advised that the code items on today's agenda involve critical life safety considerations and merit careful, deliberate review. The board should also remain cognizant that the determinations made may carry legal consequences. It is important to recognize that the decisions made by the board today will directly influence how the code is interpreted moving forward. These interpretations will become the basis on which future inspections are performed and will shape how compliance is evaluated across upcoming projects. If the board's resolution differs from the interpretation of the inspector, it is essential to provide clear reasoning for the revised interpretation. This ensures consistency, transparency, and defensibility in applying the code. And then that being said, I'll read item number 1 of the agenda. And as stated, this is a variance request for 2814 Rochester Road. We do have the applicant, Bill Swanson, present, and we do have the City of Troy Electrical Inspector, Mike Karachi, present. Item number 1, the electrical inspection disapproval of factory-installed push wire connectors for grounding wire and UL-listed ceiling light fixtures. Applicant is basing the installation on the UL-approved push wire connection. City of Troy Electrical Inspector is requiring that the grounding wires be twisted and fitted with an approved wire nut in lieu of the push wire connector.
Okay. Thank you, Dominic. We have questions for Dominic right now first. Sandy?
One question, I was just curious, Dominic, I don't know how this affects our decision, for lack of a better word. Typically, we're approving a variance under
Correct.
most conditions.
What
This-
the board has seen.
Correct. In this case, or I think in all 3 of these, the applicant is disagreeing with the interpretation of the code from the inspector. Is that, it's not technically a variance, theoretically, does that affect how we make a motion or a decision?
Well, like I stated, whatever the decision is, whatever the board decision is, that is going to be an interpretation, and you have to be clear on what you're approving or disapproving. That's how we will be enforcing these code items moving forward on future projects.
So but the motion is nominally the same. We approve or deny
That's correct.
the request as written. I guess it's not even written to. I'm just thinking about from a language standpoint that we say it the right way.
It's a little bit different in this case. I know we've got the address of the property that we're meeting for today.
Right.
But really, what we decide on today is for future projects.
Right. So when we make a motion, we're saying there's nothing to approve or deny, I guess is my question. The question says, City of Troy sees it one way, applicant sees it another way.
Correct.
What am I saying I approve?
Yeah, we
of
don't
it?
see the question within the actual.
Are we approving for the applicant? Are we approving the way the city inspector wants it to be done? That's the question you're asking.
Yeah.
So the chairman will dictate the rules. So you will dictate if you are approving them or disapproving them. So it will be Gary really guiding us through that.
Yeah, but I just don't see the approve, disapprove. The language is going to say something I motion to agree with or
So-
interpret it in one way or.
Thinking.
Approval would be, we agree with the applicant, the way he dictates the code, or are we
I-
approving the way
I-
Mr. Karachi dictates the code?
That is up to you. You can go either way.
Okay.
Just say,
Yes.
request is the word instead of variance.
Okay.
What might make it easier
Interpretation.
is if you approve the method for installation. Maybe it's not,
Okay.
just to kind of help with what you guys are talking about, if you can approve a method for installation, I don't know if it matters
Yeah.
who requested it.
And then,
Can I please jump in again? So I'm going to make it very easy. So really, Building Code Board of Appeals is to either agree with the building official or disagree with the building official. So Karachi is working under the building official. So in this case, he has a policy. So the board will just have to say, we agree or disagree with, in this case, Karachi being the building official.
and after you make the motion, we can discuss and
We can discuss,
adjust.
yeah.
Okay.
We just want to make sure we don't make a motion that's backwards from what we all think. You know, so something happened different than we did. We just want to make sure we're out front. Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. Any more questions for Dominic? Or I'm going to open up any more questions for Dominic, or,
I have one question. Is there, I didn't see in any of the packets, is there a portion of the building code that this is referring to in any specific manner?
There are included in some of the packets here, and Mike, he'll be helping guide through that. So he's got a presentation to make, and then I believe
Okay, yeah,
Bill, the applicant, has a presentation.
I understand that. I was just trying to look, I understand the NECs and the ULs and all that, but I'm asking
Yeah.
from the building, from the city of Troy, we adopt what, the IBC, correct? International Building Code?
We are under the 2021 International Building Code.
Correct.
For commercial.
Correction, it's Michigan Building Code, not international.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You're correct. Sorry.
Apologize. But
Okay.
that's, are we referring to that within this manner as well?
As well, yes, along with the NEC, National Electrical Code.
okay, I would like to have, does anybody have more questions for Dominic? I'm going to let Mr. Karachi give his presentation first. In case you have any questions, then I'll bring the applicant up second.
Before we vote.
Before we vote. We got to hear the presentations first. That's right from,
Okay.
all right. Mike, it's all yours.
Okay. My name is Mike Karachi. I'm an electrical inspector for the city of Troy. I retired in 2015 after a 31-year career. Had worked 10 years as an inspector, 6 with West Bloomfield Township, and 4 with the city of Troy. I've held a master electrician license for 41 years. Okay? And I've been a code official and plan reviewer with the state for 10 years, 10 of those 41 years. All right. That's me. Now, getting to what we were talking about on the packets, okay? You pick up your packet with the symbol here, Waco connectors. This is what we'll be talking about. Everybody ready?
Yep, go.
Need something on the screen?
Yes. Could you put that on the screen, please?
Let's see.
Okay. Actually, first of all, we're going to show some pictures. These are the connectors that we'll be talking about. You want to go to I have a picture of that in there?
No, not of those.
Okay, Salim, would you pass these down, please?
can keep going, Mike, while we're looking at these.
Okay, if you would go to the picture that I've got in that packet, the picture's also on the screen. Okay? Okay, where we start off with on this fixture, okay? The fixture being down at the bottom, all right? Up at the top of the picture is the utility. Okay, the utility supplies come out and go down to a panel, your basement panel or whatever you want, a panel. Okay. In that panel is a circuit breaker. Goes through that circuit breaker to the fixture, through the load, and goes back up to the utility, returns to the utility. That's how things work. If, all right, and we all, I shouldn't say if, we do provide a ground on all these fixtures. And what that ground is to do is that when this ground is connected, all right, if there's a fault on this fixture or where this little hand is, if there's a fault on that fixture, in other words, the incoming electricity is going to the fixture itself, all right, it will then go to the ground wire and cause a high impedance, okay, on that circuit, causing the circuit breaker, 20 amp circuit breaker, to draw more than 20 amps and open up. Everybody's safe at that point. But what I've got drawn here is, you can see at that connector, little Waco connector there, if it comes loose, or for some reason lightning strikes and it overheats and just comes apart, all right? Then we lose that ground going back up to the utility. If we lose that ground going back up to the utility, that circuit breaker no longer sees an overcurrent situation. It doesn't open up. It continues to push the current out to that faulted location. Now, if the white and black on the supply and the return, if they come out, you will know it because the fixture will say, hey, something's wrong, come and fix me, all right? Occupant gets out there, fixes the fixture, everything is good. If the ground comes out, we never know it. We never know it until somebody either gets hurt or there's a fire. Because as soon as you touch that little point right there, and with one hand, and you touch steel with the other hand, okay, that electricity is going to go through your body and back up to the utility. That electricity always tries to get back to the utility, whether it's through the earth or whatever. So I'm asking the contractor to take those wires and just twist the wires before they go into that UL approved connector. It is UL approved, all right? But it's not UL approved for the sole purpose of grounding. I ask him to twist those connectors. If those wires do come out of that connector for some unknown reason, they are twisted together, it will always return to the source of electricity. Has everybody seen their little connectors?
Okay.
Throw up that picture that I had my finger on these connectors. This one. There we go. On the screen. As you can see, if that black and white come out of there, we're going to know it. Like I said, that fixture is going to say, hey, come and fix me. That ground comes out, as I explained, there's a problem. And that's my
Okay, thank you, Mike.
my take on that.
Okay.
I'm asking the contractor to just twist them. He doesn't have to wire nut it. I asked him that, or I had told him right off the get-go that for the ease of use, remove that Waco connector and use a wire nut. All right? But he doesn't have to use a wire nut. That's an extra cost to the contractor. He doesn't have to use the wire nut. Just twist the wires, put them back into that connector, good to go. And I've received refusals on doing that.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Anybody any questions for Mike? I have one question first, Andy, before you do that. This is a Waco connector.
Yes.
And I'm looking at your picture with your finger on it. This would connect into the green wire?
The two,
Your picture up there, you have a black, white, and a green.
yeah,
Okay. This here connects into that?
that connects, that little green one there is supplied by the manufacturer.
Yes. And where's this one?
That connects into there.
That
Now,
connects
you'll see
into-
two bare wires on that.
Yep.
One is going from coming into that connector to the supply. The other one is going out to the next 20
To the next-
fixtures.
Okay. All right.
So if those grounds come loose, it's not only that fixture that's affected, it's the other 20
So
in that line.
you want to take that connector that's got the green wire in it, cut it, and get rid of that push connector, and then tie the wire to that?
They
Is
don't
that-
have to.
That's not what he's asking.
No? Okay.
They just have to twist those wires and put them in there.
He's saying that the conductors that are coming in, take the grounds, kind of twist them, then reinsert them into the splice
Can
connector.
I make it clear?
With the green that's
What
already
two
in.
wires you have to
So you're
twist, what
basically,
colors?
they still could come loose, but
You
he's,
twist the bare wires,
Okay, you got a picture here with a black, a white, and a green,
right,
and you got this right here.
right,
This is going into the green one, right?
correct.
Where are you going to twist?
You twist those two wires together,
Just twist these two together like
right,
that?
before putting in, right,
And
just
then
like
still
you've got it
stick
right
in
now.
there? Okay, so you're not cutting anything?
No, you're not cutting them, just twisting them.
and you're not asking him to add wire, wire nuts or wire caps for that.
No, I'm not asking to add anything.
So if you don't twist these, what do you normally do? You just stick this in there, and then what do you do with these two bare wires sticking out? I got two wires sticking out here, right?
Those two
connected
wires,
to the-
one of
to
them's
the-
going
to
to
the
the
roaming.
supply, and the other one's going to the other 20
Okay.
fixtures.
They're in a,
They're part of the series.
Yeah.
there's the rest of the wire right there.
Can I ask for him to twist them now so we
Sure.
can see physically?
Show me how you twist that in. There's
Yeah.
the fixture.
Yeah, just.
If you're installing that, show me how you do that.
As you see them right here, just take and twist them together.
Okay, and then where are they going to go from there?
They're connected together. So if this cap goes bad, these wires are twisted together.
I don't think
They're
you-
mechanically twisted together.
I don't think it,
They will always have continuity between these wires.
Gary's asking, he thinks that the end of the wires are right there. No, the wires are still connected to the actual
Yeah, no,
wire,
these wires, these two are still connected.
to a wiring
This one's
system.
going to the supply, this one's going to the other 20
Right.
fixtures.
Okay.
Sure.
Just,
Sandy, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, just to be clear, this is maybe a multi-step question. In the picture, the green wire is coming from the fixture. It's a silly question, is that strand or is that solid wire?
Green wire from the fixture is insulated.
I know, but it's probably strand, not
It's
solid.
stranded and insulated.
And that is coming into this connector when it comes out of the box?
Right, when it's.
So what we see there is how it comes out of the box?
It's all one piece.
All right. So your question is to twist the ground for this fixture and the downstream ground that's daisy chaining the next fixtures together.
Do it at every
So-
fixture.
So we're not changing the fixture as manufactured, not touching that wire. You're just, if this one faults out, you're still keeping the continuity for the.
This comes
Yeah,
out
you're
of
right.
this connector.
Right.
These wires are still twisted
Yeah,
together.
yeah. And,
Everything is, still have a connection.
okay, I understand what you're trying to do. So that you're actually asking him to twist the two wires that are not in this picture, not the green one that's in this picture.
Correct. No, these wires are not shown in this
I
picture.
know, but you're not asking him to do anything with the green wire. You're just wanting him to twist,
That green wire?
correct.
No.
You're
nothing
asking him
with
to
that
twist the
green
bare
wire.
wires that are coming off the Romex
The only
going.
thing that I recommended with that green wire is for ease of use. Cut it off, use a wire nut.
Yeah, but let's,
Because if you put that green wire, or you put all these in there and that green wire's there, you're gonna twist these wires with the insulated conductor.
I understand what you're saying, but
Not a good situation.
I understand what you're saying, but that's getting to my second question.
Sure.
What you're talking about now as a proposal here is different than as what's worded here. Because what's worded in the document is what you just said. Electrical inspector is requiring that the grounding wires be twisted and fitted with an approved wire nut in lieu of the push wire connector.
It should have
So
said
that's,
for ease of use, wire nut.
But I just want to be clear on what you're actually asking them to do. You're not asking them to do any of this for, you're recommending, suggest you would do, but you're not requiring them to do that. You're requiring them to twist the non-fixture, not the
Yes.
provided with the fixture wire together before they go
Wire,
into the,
yes.
into the wire nut, or the push connector.
Mike, you just said that you want to cut that green wire off.
For ease of use. You don't have to.
We have to get that out of this conversation.
Yeah, either we
We're
have to have it
we're
in or
either
out,
asking for that or
because-
we're not asking for that.
Well, then,
Because if you cut the green wire up, now you're changing the can.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. We're either,
you have to. But
One second.
UL does say that I can alter the can, all right, as long as I don't provide any less safety than they originally.
understood. I want to make a motion, I want to have a motion on a very
Well,
clear
just so you're
motion.
clear on that.
I get that your recommendation
There's
is,
no safety issue with it.
your recommendation would be if you were doing it, you would cut it off, twist them all together.
Exactly.
That's not what we're asking. We're
Exactly.
asking clearly to twist the two Romex wires, one coming into this fixture, the bare grounds,
wires.
the one coming into this fixture and the one going out to the next fixture where it occurs.
Right, at a minimum, just twist two wires.
That's what we're debating.
And the fixture ground.
No, but he's saying not the fixture.
Not the fixture ground.
Not-
He's saying don't cut it. So
Well, then how are you grounding the fixture if you don't put the ground, the bare grounds?
Putting the,
That's
it's putting
done
the
by the
twisted
manufacturer.
pair into the connector also.
Right, no, I understand, that's what he's asking for, but that's not what's written.
Correct. That's
Right.
why I'm trying to clarify that.
Right.
So, good luck with this one, Kathy.
We still have,
Item one should be reworded, Gary, whenever you get to making this motion, that it is not asking to
We can't
use,
do that.
use an approved wire nut in lieu of the push wire. Your request, your requirement from the inspector's position is requiring that the grounding wires, the incoming and outgoing grounding wires are twisted together before they're pushed into the push wire connector as provided by the manufacturer with no modification to the manufacturer's
Can't
green
also-
wire. That's what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead.
What you're trying to present, though, we can't do. What was presented in front of us is what we're
I
voting
know, but I'm
for.
saying the person who
So,
wrote this is asking
Even
for
Gary
something different.
cannot make
I know,
that
but we
comment.
can't
I
change.
get it, but what he's saying is not matching what's on
Again, we
paper. So
can't-
what are we,
We're
Okay, so-
voting on what is written here, and if the city
Can I,
prepares
can I
something new to
introduce?
present to us.
So we're going to vote to what we decide to vote for. Okay, so I think that what he stated is correct. It's totally clear. And so I suggest that or you vote under that specific narrative.
We have to vote which is set in front of us.
Right.
Not what we're,
I
not
agree.
what we're changing.
Correct.
Because we've been in trouble before for changing things
Correct.
that aren't on. So we have to read what number one is and make our decision based on number one, not on what.
So, can I ask you a
Could be.
question, please? So what are you guys not comfortable with? I don't understand.
I don't know if that's discussion right now,
Yeah,
but
we'll have that discussion after.
but I have a few questions for you, Mike.
I had just one clarification.
Go ahead, Chris.
If you read the last sentence, it says, inspectors requiring the grounding wires be twisted and fitted with any approved connector or wire nut. That's what's written here.
Right.
There is a paper
It's
up
fitted
there that
with
says
an
or
approved wire
nut,
nut
correct.
in lieu of the push wire connector.
So we're getting rid of the push button.
That's not what I
In
have.
lieu.
All right,
I got
hold
in
on.
lieu of the push
I have
wire
lieu.
connector.
Yeah, so where's this one?
This is the one that was in front of me today.
Dominic or Salim, we got two different documents here.
I'm reading off the
Where's
one
that
that's on the computer.
I'm reading the computer one also. Where's that come?
This must be the one that I printed out then.
From previous?
What I have, I'm gonna read entirely
Yeah,
what I have
actually, just
under,
hold on, Dominic, just zoom in on item one. It says
In
in
the
lieu
last
of.
sentence.
So this is what this is the language
Discussion.
we're discussing, right?
this is not what I have.
Right, so you have to follow this one, which is what's on the computer.
Where the hell did I get this?
No idea. Throw it out.
We have to go what's on the computer, correct?
Correct.
This is what is being presented today is right here.
I like what I have better.
What you said starts to sound a little better, actually.
Well, yeah, that's why
This was already at your desk, right?
No, he said he brought that in.
I think this is the one shit, I didn't know this was gonna be, I think this is what I printed off myself.
Should say this,
Is your
or wire.
agenda different?
Yes, apparently.
Well, the one he's got printed doesn't match what's on the screen.
Well,
Everybody's
hold
got
on.
the same one on the screen.
I have the copy that was sent out.
Because mine says, if you go back to what was on the screen, my last sentence is, City of Troy Electrical Inspector is requiring that the grounding wires be twisted and fitted with any approved connector or standard wire nut.
Yeah, that's not what we have. Ours is
I-
grounding wires be twisted
it-
and fitted with an approved wire nut in
It
lieu
was
of
in the
push button.
language that was sent out,
Last week.
yes.
Yeah, this is the one that, this was the one that got posted as the link on the site. Let me see here. I can't access that.
I mean, Dominic, we know that the one that was sent as a preview had different language than this.
Yeah.
We have to deal with the language that's on the document here.
Yeah. Chris, does that make sense? I mean, I don't know, I think we have to go off of what's on our screens.
Agreed.
What one was posted to the public?
The one that's on the screen.
That's what we have to work with.
Go by that.
That one got posted.
The one that was preview was not
Okay.
relevant.
Okay, I would agree, if that's the one that got posted, then that's the one we got to vote on. I think it's, I don't know how that changed. I think this is more in keeping with what Mike presented.
But it's irrelevant, I think.
So I'm going to go back to my questions because I never got to ask
Sorry,
my
Matt,
questions
I
to Mike.
jumped in.
Yeah, thanks for interrupting. Mike, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You mentioned in your statement that the connectors that were in question today are not approved for ground wires, for grounding?
They are approved for grounding, not for not for the sole purpose of grounding the entire circuit. They are approved for one fixture.
Explain,
We're-
elaborate,
for the entire
one
circuit.
fixture. Elaborate, what do you mean, one fixture?
One fixture would be the green wire that was on there. The wire coming from that fixture, it's
Right.
approved for that.
But it can be, as you said earlier, if there's 20 cans in a line,
Right.
20 can lights in a line, they're all approved for
The
each one of those
manufacturer makes
cans.
it with that one green wire to the ground, which
Yes.
approves that fixture. But
Yes?
it does not approve sole grounding for the rest of the circuit.
The connector provided has 2 or 3 additional holes, for lack of a better word, for wire,
Ports.
which would create continuity, again, barring falling off, whatever, in concept, create continuity between wires. What part of, I guess, the code or whatever you're saying that fixture connector isn't allowed to be the continuity to the next fixture?
What part? What doesn't allow it is that the manufacturer, it's a sole ground for the rest of the circuit. Okay? I'm asking that the sole ground for the rest of the circuit not be continuous. That it be continuous, not
But
by twisting the wires.
I think, Sandy, I'm with you. I don't understand it is a continuous of that ground with that connector.
It's continuous in the connector, correct? Is that what you're
Correct.
thinking?
Correct.
Right, it's continuous in the connector. But
Correct.
if the connector comes loose for some unknown reason, right, that ground is lost to the rest of those fixtures.
But-
By twisting the wires together, you're always going to maintain continuity.
But one,
How would a wire come loose? How would the connector come
I
loose?
don't know. I
Have you,
no
in
idea.
41 years, you ever seen a connector come loose?
Yes.
And was it installed wrong or made
41
wrong?
years, well, they didn't have these particular connectors.
In the last 10 years
They
then?
had the push pins in the back.
4
of the
years he's been here for
receptacle.
Troy.
Okay, the last 4 years, have you ever seen one come out?
Yes,
But
I have seen one come out.
wires get pulled out of wire nuts also, right?
Do wires get pulled out of wire nuts also?
They get pulled out of wire nuts, but as an electrician, 41 years, okay? You take those wires, you put your wire nut on, and you pull on those wires to make sure they're not coming out of there. If they're not coming out of there, you're good to go, put it back together, close the box.
But if you put the wire, push the pin in, and you pull it and it doesn't come out.
I mean, there's an installation
I pull them and
procedure.
they have come out.
Okay,
Okay. So,
go ahead. Well, why don't we, let's bring the
I
applicant
have
up
more
first.
questions, I mean, but in the sense of, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. So,
I was gonna- If we hear from the applicant,
I know,
maybe
but I have,
they'll expand our
I would
understanding.
agree, but the box is grounded, correct? What you're showing in your.
Box
The housing.
is
The
grounded.
housing, the box, the electrical box that the connectors go into for that light fixture,
That's what that.
or
that's-
for better matter, let's say it's a switch box, doesn't matter. It's a metal box, it's grounded on the box. Comes with those connectors, correct?
It's grounded.
For this particular instance,
You
it's the
have
light
to- You have
fixture.
to make it grounded.
It's coming with a ground. I'm assuming that that ground wire is attached to the box or to that
The
fixture.
green wire that you saw?
Yes.
on the Pictures, that provides the ground to the box.
Correct. So if the Romex wire is coming in, is there a fitting on the knockout? Is it coming straight through? How is that Romex coming into that box?
There's 3 wires in that Romex.
Understand.
Black, a white, and a ground.
I understand that. How is the Romex being connected to the light box?
To the fixture. Mm-hmm. You can connect it with the push pin like I had shown,
Okay,
Right.
it's okay.
and
Don't
then
worry.
by twisting them, you maintain that continuity, effective continuity to the rest of the fixtures.
Okay, let's,
We'll move on.
At this point, we're gonna bring the applicant up. If you don't mind signing in and say your name and telling us why you think you're correct.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Swanson. I've been a contractor for 32 years out of the city of Livonia. I run my business out of Livonia. I've done business in the city of Troy for over 25 years, and I don't think I've had one violation in 25 years. I have, you can go through your records, and I think I talked to Tom about it. I don't even have as much as a blemish. I work in Detroit, I work in Rochester, I work in Ann Arbor, I worked in Rochester Hills. I do 10 of these hotels a year, all the same. Same products, same, for the most part, same products. What he's referring to, and I think, I don't know if you guys seen the hi-hat I had, this is a UL rated, UL tested piece of equipment. Everything I use.
Sir, can you
Come
come
back
to the
over to-
microphone? Thank you.
So, and I can hand that, that is a UL piece of equipment. It came, those connectors came on it. It comes on it right there with a 4-port. If you look in this packet right here, it gives you a couple things. It gives you an article in the NEC that says 90.7 says that anything that's UL tested need not be inspected by an inspector. A TV, a range, you can't get in and second guess what the factory spends hundreds of thousands of dollars to test these by UL. They are vigorously tested for grounding, accountability, conductor capture. Those are UL rated, UL approved, and I also gave you a cut sheet of the UL approved fixtures, or UL approved Wagos, they're called the Wago. You cannot twist the wires together and put them in a Wago. I actually don't even agree with Michael. There is nothing in the code that says, I do not agree with twisting a 16 gauge wire with a 12 gauge wire because you can't twist them. One will just wrap around the other, they're different sizes. So it doesn't, it physically does not work. I told Michael, I had 400 of these up, wired, done. So it wasn't brought up to me beforehand. He says you got to cut the, and it's right in his violations. You have to cut the connector off and use a wire nut. I absolutely disagreed with it. I had to do it because I have people who depend on me to get a job done in a timely manner. This is probably the most widely used hi-hat. It's in every house in the nation nowadays. It's in every hotel I've ever done, and I do 10 a year. And they do not, if you called UL, they are not going to tell you to cut that off. I understand what Michael's doing. He thinks that he's going to provide a better ground. The code tells me, don't do it. The code tells me, don't alter a UL piece of equipment. The code tells me 90.7 says he does not have the authority to go into a UL-tested, UL-tested and listed piece of equipment and have me alter it. I did it, and it cost me a lot of money to do. There's not one of them. There's not two of them. There's 400 of them. What did I do? I went and did them, and it took a lot of time and a lot of labor to do it, and it makes me angry. And I've done a lot of stuff here for Michael to appease him, but I can't anymore. It's costing me too much money. I have the backup. If you look through my packet, it has the information in there. It says, cut off the connector and put on a wire nut and twist them. He's wrong. You should not twist them. You should never twist an 18 gauge and a 12 gauge wire together, ever. Shouldn't do it. And I got the UL listing for a wire nut. It tells you, you do not have to twist them. It says it. Do you all have a UL listing for a wire nut? Ideal wire nut? It tells you, don't twist them. You can if you want, but it's not required. I tell my men, I train my men, don't do it. I have code classes in my shop for my men that we train them. Listen, this is the bare minimum. If Michael wants to go over, go to the manufacturer and tell him, hey, I don't think your product's safe, and have them redesign it so it's safe. These are safe UL listed products, and I think it should be approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for the applicant here first?
I do.
You guys want this?
We can pass it around. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You said you have done work in Troy and so forth. Have you installed with these similar connectors in other jobs in Troy in the last 4 years?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you passed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In years before 4 years ago, did you ever have an inspector tell you to cut the wire nuts off?
I'm sorry.
I've never had an inspector tell me to alter a UL piece of equipment, ever. And nor do I think it's safe. If I were to ask somebody in this committee to write me a letter saying you're having me alter a piece of UL piece of equipment that came out of factory, you guys would tell me to go pound salt and get out the door. Because we're not going to tell you to change a factory UL approved fixture. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't write it to me.
And you have a red sticker saying, cut the tag, cut the
Yeah.
end off it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
Is
guys
there
have
a-
it.
Is there a code? Is there something in the, on his red sticker saying where in the code it says to do that?
No, I asked him. I
Okay.
said, tell me where it tells you. And I've given backup. I didn't want to get this far. I didn't want to get to where I'm wasting everybody's time here. I said, Michael, just give me a code article. I don't know this, but I'm good at the code. Nobody knows this code. There's a lot of information in here. And every once in a while, I have somebody who's really, really smart, been doing this a long time, and they'll say, Bill, you're missing something. You go back to 270-74, and it gives you an exception that you cannot do that. Okay, it's right there in the book. You're right, let me change it. And I have been violated before. And I have no problem if somebody discusses with me, hey, listen, this is where it's in here, because I can't find everything in this book. I'm pretty good at it. I got people in my company who are, I think, experts at it. But, you know, if somebody doesn't tell me and they just think, well, I don't think this is safe, then go change the rules. Don't just, it can't be a whim of what we think. I've been doing this for 40 years. I work in every city. I got 60 men. I train my men. Don't ever fear an inspector. A good inspector, they'll take the time to talk to you about where it is. And you may learn something by some of these wise inspectors who have been doing this for a very long time. But I can't just capitulate on every day. And I have, these are just 3 of them. I have 20 of them that I got a problem with. So it's been an ongoing problem. And I have really tried hard not to get to this point, but this is where I'm at today.
Okay,
I have a question.
thank you. I have a question for you.
Does the franchise, the hotel franchise, do they have any independent inspectors that come through?
They have the brands come through, yes. And I am governed by a submittal pack or a submittal system that, actually, the owner supplied those lights on this one. They supplied the lights, the owner. It's his property, he supplied the lights. Michael had me cannibalize all of them. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
So, yes, I do have a submittal. Everything that I install, whether it be a switchgear, if I supply it, I give him just what you have in front of you. The UL listing, exactly what it is, where it was manufactured, what it does, its credentials, its how many lumens does it have, what color temperature it is. It gives all the information to the owner so they can approve or disapprove.
Not to an inspector, though. Does the franchise have an independent inspector?
They have field inspectors, they're not electrical inspectors.
Okay.
But nor does other people. They have an engineer, they're more than welcome to come out and check my job and all the engineers. And we actually do engineering here. So we have our own, yes.
Go ahead, Matt.
Another question for you, sorry.
Yes, sir.
So the submittal, you were talking about the submittal, so the plans for this installation or for this building and so forth obviously included electrical plans?
Yeah.
And a specification sheet. Were these hi-hats and so forth called out on that drawing set, and was that approved?
They show hi-hat. I don't know if they show this. The owner brought them to me to install.
Okay.
The owner supplies
Does the
them.
city know this, whether
Mike,
it was
we'll
called
give
out
you
on the
a-
plan? Does the city know if the building plans that were approved for this property were approved?
I would have to go back and look and see what the approved set showed.
Dominic, are we, any more questions for the applicant? No way? All right, you can go ahead and sit back
Thank you.
down. Dominic is what he's asking, the electrical plan that was submitted, did it show hi-hats on there?
I don't have the answer to that. I would have to go look and see what the approved
Well,
plan,
more than likely it
what the
does.
specification was. But whether or not it matched what he's using, I would have to look at.
Yeah, because usually in the specification side, it calls out exactly the manufacturer of
Yeah.
what is
Or-
to be
or
installed.
compatible.
Or compatible.
Okay.
Right. So just want to make sure that that was pushed through the city for that matter.
Okay. Nobody has any more questions for the applicant? We have to put a motion forward. Sandy, I'm going to pass it on to you first, because I'm going to let you do this one, okay?
Actually, if you don't mind, I would actually like to take this because I actually wrote something for this because.
Okay. Not yet. We will, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
All right,
If you don't
so-
mind, I'm going to Matt do it.
Yeah, please.
All right.
So in that, because I'm hearing Salim and everybody else and Dom that this is important that we word this correctly. I wanted to make sure that I
Let me-
covered.
Matt, can I say something?
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, we have to put a motion forward before we can discuss anything as a board here. So that's why the motion's going forward now and not later. So we have to put a motion forward, we have to have it second. We're not going to say that's the official motion, one way or the other, until we all discuss it. And if we don't like it, we'll change the motion to what we want it to be. But we have to put a motion forward first.
It's not in place until the vote has been taken.
Yes. There you go. Okay, Matt, go ahead.
All right. So in my opinion, I believe that we should grant the following approval based on the applicant's request that snap-in electrical connectors are compliant with the current International Building Code and National Electrical Code. They are UL tested and are in accordance with manufacturer's instructions in their listings. The NEC permits these use of listed and labeled wiring devices and connection methods, providing they are installed and used in accordance with their listing under NEC Article 110.3-B. Any restrictions, prohibition, or alterations of these accepted wiring methods cannot be technically justified unless there is a clear evidence of improper installation, misuse of the product, or a violation of the manufacturer's listing of instructions.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Friesen?
We do not take the vote now. Now it's open for discussion, correct, Dominic? Yeah, okay. All right, so we have a motion on the table, second, to approve the applicant's version of how they should be done. Let's have some discussion here. I look at it, it's a UL listed, that, wherever it went, that can is UL listed. And,
It's right here.
yeah, you could leave it there. It's
I'd
UL,
like to see it.
it's UL listed, and I understand Mike feels it's safer to go the other way, and I kind of agree that every year, I think they have an electrical meeting, that it'd be great if the entire state of Michigan came up with it and said it, but I'm sure it's been brought up to the meetings, and it has not been changed. I don't feel comfortable changing a UL-listed appliance, because if that house or something happens to it, and they see that they've been changed, who's to blame? It's the UL listing, the contractor's gonna say, the inspector's gonna come to the city, it's gonna come back to us and says, you guys okayed cutting UL-listed wires.
I agree.
That's my only take on this. If it's safer, hey, I'm all great. If it was my own house, I'd say, yeah, let's do it, and if we can shoot, it's safer, but we're talking attorneys who can get involved and come back to our little board here and say that we wanted to cut a UL listed appliances. My opinion. I could be changed, so.
I mean, I agree 100%.
Okay.
As long as the connectors that we're talking about, that fall under a proper installation, that's it. I mean, there is a manufacturer's recommendation. If that is followed, and they're pushed in and inserted properly with the proper cutback on the wire, then there should be no question of the UL listing or the installation method.
Yes. So I have a question for Mike here. Our applicant said you can't twist was it a 14 and a
16 and a 12.
16 and a 12 together. Is that a true statement?
This is true.
Okay, so, all right.
I mean, look, I know you've got 40-some years, and I appreciate your service. I really do. I mean, I was in the IBEW for 12 years. I'm a licensed builder. I've been in degree in architecture. I've been in the industry for a while, too. So I understand that technology changes. We have to adapt sometimes. I'm not saying that I love these connectors in any way, because they're new and it's different, right? But I do agree with the applicant that there's some deviation, right? Like being able to twist wires, but I also agree with Gary here on the board that, and so forth, that we can't vote on I cannot take and feel good that we're going to violate the UL listing, let alone violate the NEC code that has already been established, and that we've put so much effort. Others have, and I think even the applicant said they've spent millions to try to test and ensure that these devices are safe. And if we go from that, we haven't done any of our own testing to approve or disprove
We're not
that.
testing with
Right. So that's my feeling. So, and that's why I put it forward the way I did. And I just know that the grounding of the box is, to me, suffice the way it is. The bare wires that are in the box are most likely touching the box.
Are we in the discussion mode?
We're in the questions and
Unless you had a
answers right
question,
now.
yeah, but I'm just making a statement. I think that the box is even safer than the way that it is built and UL provided. The bare wires, guarantee they're probably touching the box within the actual fixture itself. If anything were to come loose or come off, in which I think Sandy made a point too. I mean, it can happen with wire nuts, it can happen with snapping connectors, it can happen just with anything. So, I mean, vibration or earthquakes we don't have here, but things can happen, but.
If you have done, I have a question for Salim. I build houses in Shelby. Every time I get a violation, they put the code violation from do we have a code violation on this one here?
Yes, so what happens is that I request this from all of my inspectors, and we are very strict with that. So in this case, the code violation that Mike presented is from Chapter 1, which is where it gives the inspector in general, just as a blanket, when they feel that something shall be done in his criteria, he can execute that code, and he will cite that code. So it's a generic code.
So that generic code means an inspector can override anything,
Anything,
anything he wants?
correct.
Okay.
And that's exactly what Building Code of Appeals is made for.
I would,
Can I
So-
finish, please?
Yes.
So what I was going to is that code, it's something that is included in all the books, just as a protective measure or redundancy, okay? But to balance that out, we have building code board of appeals, which is what we're doing right now.
Right.
So it's checks and balances.
Okay, so your inspector is allowed to make his opinion on it,
Correct,
how he feels if it's safe.
Correct.
Comes to our board, decide if we agree with him or disagree with him.
correct.
Okay, so we're not changing codes in the whole city? This
No.
is- This is for, now, will this, however this votes, will this be for this appliance from here on out for all houses and all apartments? Or every
Correct.
time this gentleman comes back, do we have to?
No, it'll be from here on.
Okay.
With Mike Karashi. In the future, when we retire, if it's a different inspector, then might be another board that will decide differently.
Okay.
But
All right. We'll call you in a minute.
Actually, what you just said is actually really important. Your interpretation, it's not the right word, your application of this decision will be,
Policy.
no, but will
Effective.
apply to the thought that whether or not non-manufacturer wires outside of a push-in connector need to be twisted or not. It's not this fixture, it's not this contractor, it's not this building. If I have a connector like this, we will decide whether or not it's required that the two wires, the line side wire and the downstream wire, protecting future fixtures or downstream fixtures, have to be twisted. That's the scope of what we're delineating.
correct. You guys are deciding on the future of these fixtures and the application for years and years to come?
Not fixtures, connectors.
Connectors, yes, connectors. Well, in this case, we are voting specifically for this fixture. If somebody else in the future was to bring another fixture, another brand, that there has been problems, so there could be also another objection, and the process would start again. I mean, I can't limit people from having, board discussions. And that is, I mean, it is for the future of this fixture, these connectors, for all different contractors in different projects for the city of Troy for years to come, till there's another objection, if there was one.
But that's all I'd say, Salim, and you keep saying fixtures, but to me, everything beyond about this far on this example of the rest of this is irrelevant to the conversation. All we're talking about is how we deal with this right here.
Correct.
You can
It's fine.
put this in a washing machine, I don't really care, right? The point is, what we're talking about is the grounding wire for the bare grounding wires at this connector.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, I want to say something based on what you just said, though. You specifically just said that it's for this fixture.
Well-
That's not what I think that we're talking, I think that's
Well,
silly
you
to speak
gotta
that way.
go back to the original
I
description.
mean, you could do it in a light fixture
So-
or in a light switch,
Well, but we have to read what was said
Yeah.
from the beginning, like we always
but you
do.
didn't specify a specific fixture.
Well,
so this
whatever is there, we would be voting for.
Right,
Right, so
which is
this-
the approved process.
Right.
I think it's, for factory installed push
Right.
poles, not for anything else.
Yeah, we're not
Factory
changing the
installed.
code for
Yeah.
other downstream.
Garrett, to be specific, what you just said, factory installed push wire connectors for grounding wire and UL listed
Yeah.
assembly.
That's
I
what
would
we're-
say you could apply this decision to that condition.
Correct,
Yeah.
I agree,
100%.
100%.
Yes. All right. Okay, any more questions? Do we have any more discussions here? I kind of lost my train of thought for a second. Dominic, I had a question for you. UL listings. I asked you about a condos on building with a 2-hour firewall, and you said, Gary, you can go on the UL listing website, and they have different versions of how they can do a 2-hour firewall between all the units. Does UL have a different way of doing this, or is it just this way?
I have not researched that, Gary.
Okay,
And what you're asking about your other project, it doesn't relate to what we're
Okay.
looking at
but
today.
the UL is something that you base your, if I brought in a different UL
There-
listed way, you would allow that 2-hour firewall?
It-
Okay.
I'd rather you save that question
Okay.
for another time.
We'll save it. All right.
Mike did have a couple comments. he'd
I was
like-
going to, I'm going to allow Mike for a couple quick comments, and I know the applicant wants to come up. I want to keep him short. So go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I wanted to respond to something that the applicant had said on 90.7, okay, about the authority having no jurisdiction to alter that fixture. All right, according to what the code says. The code is stated in 90.7 that it is true that I cannot go into that fixture and say, you have to alter it, or something's wrong with that fixture. Because this is written for the manufacturer, so that I don't have to go into a refrigerator and say, hey, this is wired all wrong in this refrigerator. That's why they list the refrigerator itself. That's what 90.7 is talking about. But if you go to 90.4, they do say that they're giving me the authority to alter the fixture as long as I provide the same amount of safety that was originally intended. Now, in this case, I'm not asking for the fixture to be altered at all. As I said, he can use the same connector. Right? I'd like to see the ground wires twisted together and then put into the Waco connector. Those ground wires that are twisted together are not affecting that fixture at all. Those ground wires that are put together, that are twisted together, are affecting the rest of the circuit.
Okay, Mike, you just said that. He said you wrote on the red sticker, cut the connector off.
I specifically told him, for ease of use,
Cut the connector
can
off.
take the connector off and provide a wire nut. The
No.
wire nut is listed by UL, and it's a proven device for grounding,
Okay, all right. Any other,
just for ease of use. He does not have to do that.
okay.
I have to add it because it's for the record. So what happens when you mention the narrative proposed for a vote, you mention international code. So we're going back to the Michigan Building Code 2021
Yes.
for the record.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm gonna bring up Sandy.
I'll do it before we vote.
Okay. Do you want to come back up and state something there real quick?
When you talk about Article 90.4, authority having jurisdiction, that is not intended for somebody to come to wield it like a bat through a job and just give interpretations because they think, he thinks, she thinks it should be. They don't let cops do it. They don't let the government do it. They shouldn't let anybody do it because everything should be, at least what that's for is interpretations. You get something that could be in a gray area, you know what, this is an existing building, you don't have quite 3 foot, I'm gonna make an interpretation that this is safe, this application, because it's in a gray area in this book. This is not to be intended, in my opinion, and the state will tell you, and any electrical inspector in the state will tell you, that's made just to help gray areas that don't make sense. It is not just to have any inspector come up and any whim and say, I'm the authority having jurisdictions, you're gonna do what I say. It's crazy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else have any more comments or questions on the board? Yes? Okay, you wanted to say
So
something?
I just wanted to, I think off of what Salim was saying, I wanted to just make a quick amendment on the language of Matt's
Okay.
motion. Is this the right time to do it?
Let me,
Whenever you're ready.
okay. We're ready, we have a motion, and we have a second, and you'd like to change, ask it, you'd like,
words for that.
okay, you'd like to ask Matt to change his,
Yeah, just two things. Technically, Salim caught one. He said IBC, it should be Michigan Building Code, not International Building Code. And you said snap-in connectors. I know they're very similar, but since the language of this says push-in connectors, it should say push-in connectors.
are you good with that, Matt? Yep. Kathy, did you get all that?
I'm going to rely on Mr. Deservin to give me his written motion. So, yes, I'm good on that, on the amendment.
I'm sorry, say it again,
I
Kathy.
am good on the amendment, and I'm going to rely on Mr. Deservin to give me the written motion.
Okay. Go ahead.
I know that we are held by what is written, but the the words are still coming out about, if I'm using my words properly, the daisy chain of the grounding, that is the same gauge wire, because it's going, has not, I don't know if we can address it because of the way that the appeal is written.
I believe we cannot, because we're using the language that's in the document. But I agree with you.
That's still part of the contention, and we're not resolving that, but.
Well, to be fair, in Matt's motion, it's moot, because he's allowing them to do it as per code.
Then maybe I'm misunderstanding, because the 12 gauge goes into the plug-in. Then the 16 gauges,
They're going to 3 different ports. So you've got the green wire that's a 16 gauge going into the fixture as it is.
Okay.
You got a 12 gauge going into the push separately.
Okay.
And you got another 12
That's
gauge
for the
going into
third.
the push separately. So if Matt's motion passes, that's what's allowed. None of those wires are twisted together.
okay.
So what, Matt, you're saying is just, we are trusting that the push, I want to get it straight, right? They're called push, right?
Yep.
Push pins are good. They're not going to come out and not going to be twisted.
Correct?
The way the manufacturer says it and the way you all listed approved it.
It's going to look just like this with an extra green wire that came
Yes.
from the manufacturer.
Okay. Does that make sense to you?
No, it does, but you could still twist those 2 wires and,
Could.
You could,
okay.
but,
And I believe actually the applicant said you already went back and did that, correct?
yeah, but we're
Or in
talking.
the current condition, yeah.
Yeah, we can't talk that.
I know, but
But the manufacturer designs these to go
Correct.
from one to another to another.
Correct, daisy
Am I-
chain.
Yes. So we're agreeing with the manufacturer the way they designed them, that they're working. That's what the applicant is asking, is that he uses push pins for each one, and I said again, push pin, whatever, you know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
Push wire connector is the one.
push wire. Do we have anything else on Matt's? Kathy, you have it? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then we're ready for a vote on it, correct?
Do you want me to reword it?
Did you caught, yes. Could you reword it, please?
I did.
Okay, and you got it all, Kathy?
I do. I have the amendment, if that's what you're
Kathy
referring
has the
to.
amendment
So the amendment,
to what you
Yeah.
had.
NBC versus IBC and push wire
yes,
versus
I
snap.
noted it on here, so.
Okay,
yes.
so those are both in, so we're all good.
Push in, or I'm going to say pressure type,
It says
well listed.
push wire connector. Or
Kathy
just
has it
use
on,
push wire.
Kathy has it on.
Push wire connectors.
Push it.
Okay.
So we're all set for a vote. Correct?
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, Kathy, would you like to take the vote, please?
Mr. DeZerman,
Yes?
Mr. Friesen,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Abathera,
Yes.
and Ms. Brooks.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. So for first one, it passed for the
Applicant.
applicant. Okay. We're going to move to the second one now. Dominic, could you tell us about the second one, please?
Okay, item number 2 on the agenda for today, the electrical inspection of UL-listed self-grounding switches and outlet receptacles without supplying grounding pigtails. Applicant is basing the installation on the UL listing of the switches and outlet receptacles as being self-grounding. City of Troy Electrical Inspector is requiring that each switch and outlet receptacle be installed with grounding pigtails in the event the switch and/or outlet receptacle is ever replaced with a non-self-grounding box.
Okay. And you guys have any questions? I'm going to let Mike speak, give his presentation if we don't have anything for Dominic. Is that good?
Yeah, I have a question for Mike. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Mike, tell us about this.
Okay, what this is saying is he's using a wire that is approved by UL. It doesn't have a green ground in it, okay? Because UL says that it's capable of supplying its own ground through that jacket of the steel wire. It's called a metal-clad cable, all right? That's perfect, all right? But there's a code that says the branch circuit wiring method shall include or provide, keywords, an equipment grounding conductor to which the equipment grounding conductor contacts the receptacle or cord connector. This is what I'm asking him to use. Just put it in the box. Leave it there. Don't use it for the receptacle. Just put it in the box. So that when the tenant, owner, whoever, okay, sees that receptacle, it goes bad, okay? They go out to Ace Hardware, buy a non-grounding receptacle, which is a lot cheaper than the grounding receptacle. Puts that in there. He has a method to ground it to the box with that green wire. Let me pull that out there again. He has a method to pull it, to use that green wire. Okay.
Okay?
He does not have to use them, because that's what that grounding receptacle is for.
All right. You have a question for?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
For Mike, is this where we're at?
Yes, we're a question for Mike.
So just language-wise, and I don't know this technology, the self-grounding thing well, so I just want to try to understand it. Using box and receptacle, using an MC cable, right? The MC cable doesn't have a ground wire in it, or it does?
No, it doesn't. The manufacturer makes it, and you all approved it, where it has a grounding wire in the jacket of the metal cable. And they feel that it's touching the jacket enough that you can use the actual jacket as the ground.
And that's code compliant?
That's the ground going back to the panel.
But that's code compliance installation?
That is code compliant.
And then when that...
That is code compliant if you use a grounding type receptacle.
Receptacle or box?
Receptacle. Not a box, receptacle.
So when the...
Don't use a grounding type receptacle.
When you...
Self-grounding type receptacle, and you use just a standard receptacle, then you have to have some way to connect it to the ground.
Right. No, I
Which
get that.
I'm asking him to put that wire in there.
So in this example you have here, there's actually a grounding wire in here, but you're saying that wouldn't be coming in the condition we're talking about? Right, because this actually has a hot and neutral and a ground wire in it.
Yeah, no, those wires, they don't apply to this conversation.
So we're just looking at box here.
Just the
So,
box.
all right.
Just the box and that
So
green
trying
receptacle.
to envision this right, in the condition you're talking about, it's an MC cable that's just got two conductors in it, black and white. The jacket is being the ground, correct?
Correct.
And that jacket is properly affixed to the metal box.
Correct.
The box is then grounded through the jacket.
Correct.
And you would have to be buying a fixture or a receptacle, whatever the device is that goes in it, that is, I'm gonna say self-grounded, I don't know the right word.
Self-grounding.
Which in practice essentially is some piece of metal in that fixture eventually touches the box,
Correct.
which grounds itself.
Yes.
And if someone later goes and replaces that receptacle with the one that everybody's gonna buy that has a ground on it, what they should do is do exactly what you're talking about here, is they should buy a
Correct.
little jumper and ground it to the
And
box.
please understand that just to change the receptacle, the occupant or the tenant, whatever you want to call this person,
Yeah.
changing that receptacle, doesn't have to get a permit
Well-
for me to get out there and look at it.
Yeah, I get it.
Because-
I mean, even if they had to have a permit, this is definitely something that will be replaced
Right.
without a permit, without you
In the
knowing.
Michigan's
I get it.
agreement, in the Michigan gentleman's agreement, under $100, they don't need a permit. Just
Like-
go replace a receptacle.
Like I said, even if you required it, 100 people will change this outlet by themselves without doing anything.
They could.
I get that. So you're trying to get them to put this in for,
Just put it into a box and leave it there.
I get what you're saying.
I have a question for Mike. In this instance, he using the right box? Is he using the right plug?
Yes,
So he's doing everything by code,
yes, except for putting that pigtail.
but he's doing everything by code. Is it in code that he has to put the pigtail in there?
This code says here, shall include or provide an equipment grounding conductor.
Where are you reading that? Is it in something we have here?
And
In this,
on this page here,
with your little sticky note on the front.
Grounding picked it.
404 or 406.4 C.
But it says,
406.4C. Okay, gotcha.
but it, just
Mike, I have-
to what
And he's got it on the screen.
But what to Mike is saying, you just read it, correct?
Yes.
Shall include or provide an equipment grounding conductor to which the equipment grounding conductor contacts of the receptacle or cord connector are connected. So, again, you're saying that the device is grounded. That's not the question here today, right? The
No,
device that
he's
was
using
provided
that,
in the
he's
box.
using that self-grounding
He's using a
receptacle.
self-grounding receptacle, box is fine that way.
Right.
My only question to that box and adding that pigtail, because it kind of goes contrary to what you just said about the lighting fixture, is pushing an extra wire in there and it's sitting in there loose. What's the chance of the vibration or something of that coming in contact with the hot and causing a circuit interruption like that?
If that happens, it'll shut the.
It'll shut the circuit out.
The
but,
circuit breaker,
I mean, I'm just saying,
but that is highly unlikely.
okay,
But
There's
possible.
less of a chance of that happening than
But
somebody
possible.
getting hurt without it.
And someone would only get hurt without it is if somebody changed it.
to a
Yes,
non-self-ground.
The way he puts it in, it's 100% safe.
correct.
There's no problem in 20, 30 years from now, someone changes it.
But then who's
10 years?
responsible?
Who's
The
responsible when they
inspector
change
or
it?
the city?
I think the city's not responsible because it was installed correctly.
And approved.
And I think the contractors installed it correctly. It passed everything. If someone goes out and changes it, it's,
That's not our
yes.
responsibility.
yes, okay. Any more questions real quick? We have the contractor come back up real quick. Give us just a quick one on this one.
I provided everybody a UL listing for the AP cable we use. It is probably the most common used cable in the industry today. It does not have a green wire. It has an internal grounding wire that makes a positive grounding connection if used with the proper UL connector. I think Matthew said it correctly. We don't like to put it in and just have it out because the sides of the devices are open and it could cause a fault, a short. The code definitely tells us we can do what we can and what we cannot do. The code
Okay.
definitely says if I use this box, this connector, this MC cable, this device, this plate, I have abided by the NEC. Now, I think one of the things I got was 90.4 authority having jurisdiction. I went and put all those in because I can't hold up that job. So what I have to do, I had to get somebody on their hands and knees and screw 2,000 of those things in. You shouldn't have people do it. It's not in the code book anywhere. There's nothing in there. I understand him trying to make it better for 30 years from now if somebody changed the device. That's not my problem. I spend an extra $4 per device, and there are 8,000 devices in that building. That's a lot. And I do it because it's a better product. It's a spec grade. You want to know what most people use in these hotels? A residential grade. It's something you go get at ACO. I don't. I spend the money to get the good product, to get a positive grounding, that it's grounded even if it doesn't sit tight to the box. And I spend that money for safety. But I don't need to be doing more that I think is unsafe. It's more unsafe than it is safe. We're making a mistake by adding these. And I've done it. You have no idea how many boxes I have in that building. I got 125 rooms with 25 boxes per room. It's a lot. It's a lot of money for me.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you put them all in yet? You put the boxes in and you put the plugs in?
I put whatever ones he was inspecting, if he was gonna hold me up and he wouldn't give me a green tag, which actually I don't even think that should have been a violation because he can check it on the finish. But these people hire me because I don't get in their way. And I'm not gonna get in disputes with cities waiting for an arbitration on everything. So I don't know if they put them all in. I know we did a couple floors of it. And we did it to keep Mike happy. I didn't do it. I wasn't up here 2 months ago wanting to come in front of this board. I really tried hard to work through it and say, Mike, let's look at the book together. It's a book. Show me where you're getting it and then I'll do it. 90.4, authority having jurisdiction. I have the authority and you're gonna do as I tell you. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, do anybody have any questions for the applicant? No? All right. Sandy, would you put a motion forward?
I thought you were going to do these motions.
Yeah, you know, I got to sit here, I can push it.
Yeah, it's fine. Where was that language I just had? Sorry.
You want me to say it again?
No, I got you. Well, I mean, if you got something prepared, I got it if you don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sandy.
I would motion to approve the applicant's interpretation or request based on NEC Section 406.4, Section C, which allows the use of the installation as requested. That's it.
Did you catch all that?
I did.
I'll
yes.
second that. That's just to
Okay, you'll
carry
second it?
forward.
All right. We're going to open up here for our board here to talk about.
Yeah, I guess what I'd say is, this is another one, maybe it's similar to Matt, what you said before. Mike, I generally agree with you because I think someone will come and put in a box and they just don't realize that there's not the ground, but I don't think it's required that he does it. I don't think it's in the code, and that it really is the responsibility of that person to be properly installing it later, not for this contractor to provide for any future unknown consequence. So, and the fact that you've done a bunch of them, I guess, is good, but I just don't see it in the code that we can require him to do it. That's all. Otherwise, I think it's fine.
It does say in there, provide, include or provide, and I'm only asking for the receptacles, not for the switches.
No, but he is providing it. He's providing it with the condition that the equipment grounding conductor contacts of the receptacle, forget or cord, conductor contacts of the receptacle are connected by installing it with a grounded outlet to a grounded box that is connected to an MC cable. He's provided all that contact that is required by that section.
I agree. He has provided for what they want today.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
But if we move ahead of time, and the receptacle has to be changed in a year, it has to be done correctly.
Agreed.
And I will not have an opportunity to get in there and take a look to see it's done correctly. It's
Unless they
not
pull
over
approval.
$100.
Unless they pull.
All right, Salim, I have a question for you. The code that we build houses and commercial to is to the minimum, correct?
Correct. I was going to mention that.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to mention it. So the code is the minimum.
Right. So
Requested.
we build houses to the minimum.
To the minimum.
And the code is to the minimum.
Correct.
You can
And
always
we-
go more.
Yes, we don't enforce behavior, we just enforce the code. So future behavior, we can't control.
Okay. I mean, the only thing that I don't like in this action is it says if for future. I mean, I don't build a house for future, like,
Somebody you handicap.
yes, I don't build a house ready for handicap in case somebody comes along in 20 years that's handicapped that wants to buy the house. That's changed. So I build it.
We've
So-
changed, electrical code and code has
Can I-
changed over the years.
Yeah, go ahead.
So to your question and your comment, I agree with Mike with safety, and I'm all for safety. That's why I'm a building official. But in this case, it's a minimum required by code.
Yes,
And like I said, we don't enforce behavior, we can't.
right. Okay.
I mean,
Matt,
I
go
hear
ahead.
what you're saying. I think, I mean, I could look back 30, 40 years ago. We didn't require, I think 40 years ago, I can't remember the date, but GFCIs weren't required, you know. Right, they didn't have them, so now we adopted them, right? It's in the NEC code, it's in the building code. So maybe in the future that code changes. It's not our place to make that change, I think, for what is already established within not just the Michigan Building Code, but the NEC. I also look at this as like the grounding device, and I think to Sandy's motion, adding the language is there, but it's also the box is UL listed as well. So it's a UL listed device that is self-grounding, and so is the receptacle. So in this case, again, it going past the testing authority and the code requirement to allow this, and I also expressed my concern earlier, is that having a loose wire within that box of that nature that's not either capped or whatever can cause another short. And whether that, again, goes back to the circuit or somebody gets hurt, within that point of that, if that ever happened, I don't think that that's safe in my period, so.
The only thing I'll say to that is that's a fail-safe condition. Not
It is a
The
fail-safe.
other one was
Yeah.
a little more potentially fail, not safe.
I understand.
If that breaks, someone's annoyed that their breaker keeps tripping.
breaker
but you're not-
keeps tripping.
You're not electrocuting someone.
No, not necessarily, but, it could travel, right? If you have a device hooked up and everything else like that, so.
Okay. Salim, I have a question for you again.
Sure.
If this one, how would this get put into the official code? You guys go to these code meetings once a year?
Yes, so we go once a year. Last time Dominic came as well.
Yeah.
And we vote for changes. We spend days
Yeah.
voting. So yeah, this could be something if Mike was interested to push through the approval of the code change
So Mike would go
cycle.
to the code, say, listen, I think this is a great idea.
Correct.
And the higher ups would all say, yes, we agree, no, we don't. We agree, we'll put it in the code, and in 2026 code or 2027, it would be code. And it's a safety issue, but that would be where this fight would go, not just saying, I think all these should be done. It should be uniform across the state of
Yes.
Michigan.
So
Okay.
this fight is for a different arena. That's where it is.
Yes, okay. All right. Any more,
No, my only comment was, I'm a bit more of a layperson in the electrical arena than my board members today. I do understand grounding, but if I were changing out a receptacle, I may not, if a green wire's there, I may not know that I'm supposed to do anything with it. I may be like, oh, it's in contact with the box, maybe I'm okay. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's gonna be used.
you'd be like me, like, well, they didn't use it then, then why should I use it now?
Well, there might be
Boom.
that idea too, so,
Unless you put a note on it that said, please connect if you don't have grounding one.
right, so,
Okay.
Small print.
yes, it's
Small print.
there for the intent of future safety, but there's no guarantee that it would ever be used in the manner that it's intended.
Okay. All right, any more comments, questions? Are we good with Sandy's motion forward?
Other than the UL.
What did you want to add, just so Kathy gets it right?
What did you want to add?
Just any UL listed grounding device
So
that,
Kathy, mine was approve the applicant's installation per 406.4, section C. What's the right word?
that meets
Given
the,
that it's installed with UL listed devices per manufacturer requirements.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before we vote, Dominic, I have a question. Is this a public meeting?
It is, yes.
Is there any public, that's been sent any letters to you?
I have no public comment.
Is there anybody out in the public that wants to comment on this before we vote on it? I see there's a couple gentlemen sitting out here, unless they're all good? Okay. All right, Kathy, would you take the vote, please?
Mr. Friesen,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Apithera,
Yes,
Ms. Brooks,
Yes.
Mr. Jezerman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. Dominic, we have one more. Would you like to go through that one for us, please?
Yes, so the final number 3 item for today on the agenda, electrical inspection disapproval of 1-hour fire-rated UL-listed outlet receptacles without a putty pack. Applicant is basing the installation on the UL listing of the outlet receptacles of being 1-hour fire-rated to be used in all 1-hour fire-rated wall assemblies. City of Troy electrical inspectors are requiring fire-resistant putty to be packed into receptacle box openings to resist the spread of fire through the box.
Okay. We're going to go once again. Does anybody want to talk to Dominic real quick, or should we go right to Mike to hear about it? Mike, what do you want to tell us about this?
This has to do with the putty packing of the boxes on demising walls and hallways. If you could get up to this packet, 300.21.
That's the 11 by 17?
Yes, the one with the big page there. It talks about the spread of fire. Talks about the spread of fire or products of combustion. Okay? On the box that I was sending around, where did it go? Okay, that one there. That covering is this. That covering on the back of that box is this. This is called a putty pack. On the demising walls and hallways is to be used. Okay? So that fire doesn't spread into the next tenant space or in the hallways. When the firemen come in, the firemen want to get out. All right? I didn't see these being used. I had said something to the contractor that they needed to be there, all right, for the spread of fire because of 300.21, was it? Yes, because of 300.21. I got back into the office and called the engineer. Asked the engineer, I said, well, you might have forgotten these things. That you might have forgotten to put a note in there on what you wanted to happen. Okay, according to this code, you needed to put that on the plan. I did not review the plan before it got approved. The plan was approved before I started here. All right, which doesn't negate what needed to happen. Okay, if I was to request it, that's, you can change the plans as you build. All right. Like I said, I contacted the engineer, and the engineer said, yes, must have been an oversight. He then, okay, sent me another plan in which this paper here, put this one up now. That one there, and some other diagrams on here. Okay, with a statement saying that all wall boxes, demising walls, and hallways be putty packed. Okay, so I don't know, the contractor did putty pack them because the engineer asked him to, and I don't think that's a big issue anymore. It's being done. I'm done,
Okay.
thank you.
So why are we here on this one?
Because the code
Okay.
says that these are UL listed devices.
Ready for him.
Okay, hold on. What's that?
The question should be for him, for Mike.
Yeah. Why are we here on this then? If he's doing the work and the engineer said to do it and you're doing it, why are we here?
We're here
am I
just
missing
because
something?
the applicant put in a complaint.
One second.
Okay.
Gary, I think we need to hear from the applicant because I think he is contesting needing the use of these on
Okay.
future projects that he has.
All right. Anybody have any quick questions for Mike, or can I bring the applicant up? You would just come up and,
So in every hotel room, there is a rating for every room, for every shaft, for every corridor, for every demising from the interior of the walls. That assembly has a rating to it. It's right in the documents. This is a 1 hour rated. If it's a shaft that goes through floor to floor, it's a 2 hour rated. If it's houses a fire pump cable, you got to have at least more than a 2 hour rating. It either has to be block. Every room in this building has a 1 hour rating, not a 1.5, not a 2, not a 4. We can look right in the documents. I would like to know what engineer, because I design a lot of these and I'm surprised that the engineer, this is the first I've ever seen that. It is not in our documents. It is never done on these jobs. This is a UL rated, 1 hour assembly from UL rated box. And he says, well, just put it on the corridor walls. Now, I want you to listen to logic. Put it on the corridor walls, don't put it on the demising walls between the rooms. Is that because we care about the fire department more than we care about the people sleeping in the rooms next to us? It just makes no sense. None, zero. We can go through the documents. I have no problem. I can bring a full set of, we can set up another meeting. It is a 1 hour assembly. I have a 1 hour rating. UL, right here. It tells me the only time I have to use a putty pack is if I'm back to back and if I'm within 2 foot. And I already had it done, every one. Those putty packs are $10 a piece, $4 to install them. And I have thousands of them. And I did them not to have a problem, to have to come up here. And this is my problem. Because this assembly is correct. It's right in the documents. Anybody can look it up. I'm sure Dominic can look it up and see the rating. It's nothing is in a shaft where it travels per floor. Nothing is in a stairwell where sometimes you can have places of assembly. It is just in the 1 hour assemblies. It has 1 layer of drywall. That 1 layer of drywall is only good for 1 hour. If you set a fire in the middle of that room, it'll burn in an hour, it's gonna be through. That box is rated for that assembly. I've used them in the last 20 hotels I've done, never had a problem. So and I went to Michael and said, Michael, tell me where you're finding this. Show me. This is the first I'm seeing of this. So I don't know, and I would fight with the engineer on that too. Unless he tells me those are 2 hour rated, because if it's 2 hour rated, you better put 2 layers of drywall on it. Because that's the only way you're gonna get a 2 hour rating. So,
Okay. Do we have that paper you have in your packet?
Yes.
We do have that?
What are you looking for?
Okay. All right, yes. All right, can you come back? We have a couple questions for you.
yes, sir.
All the boxes in this hotel are metallic?
Yes, yes,
All UL listed metallic boxes?
yes, sir.
And anyway, what I heard from you, besides, don't elaborate into, I did it all these other places, everywhere that they're within 24 inches of each other, they are putty packed?
Yes, sir.
And including back-to-back.
Yeah, back to back. So if it's, meaning, if you're
back to back.
within 24 inches, if you had one facing this way and one facing this way, if it's 2 foot 1 inch, I don't need to putty pack them. If I move it an inch, both need to be putty packed.
Yes.
And that will give you your rating,
And all of that has been done?
100%.
Okay.
And all those corridor walls that he wanted.
Okay.
This was in this.
Do you know what manufacturer box that was, by the way?
Probably Allied Molded, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was in this, the color packet.
I'll find out.
That's all I have, thank you.
Anybody else?
Anybody, any other questions for the applicant from anybody here? Chris?
I'm still confused. Is this work has already been done?
Could you come back up, please? Sure. The question is, has the work already been done in this hotel? All the putty packs?
Yes, so I've had a rough inspection on 432, all my rough wiring is done 5 through, I believe 1, I'd have to go back and double check.
So you're here today just for future?
I'm here today to just stop being abused, because I've done everything. I've tried to deal with it without coming to this committee and saying, this is the problem I'm running into. I have nowhere else to turn. I've went to Tom, who's been fantastic. I've went to Michael, who's not listening. I've said, let's discuss the code in an open forum. Yes, sir.
Yes, can I talk?
Let him finish first.
No,
Let him finish.
So I'm just trying to, I have to have an avenue to be able to have someone listen to this is the only way I could get it done. And I've spent tens of thousands on this one job, and I got another 20 stories coming out in Troy that I'm designing.
So you're looking, you have another job coming in Troy?
I have 2 big jobs coming in Troy, and I need to know how this path is gonna go. Whether we're gonna let somebody say, I'm the authority having jurisdiction, you're gonna do whatever I tell you because I think it should be, or we're gonna follow that code book, which I follow everything I do, on the classes I do, everything I do is in that book. If he can show me, Bill, you can't do it because of this, I'm gonna abide by it, and I'm not gonna be angry about it.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a red sticker stating
Oh, yeah.
on this, stating a code
I
violation?
don't know if do I have a red sticker for the putty pack?
Was it like a code violation of such and such?
No.
Okay.
Every time, so just so everyone's clear, every time, and this is only 3 of them, I've had 20, I don't know about 20.
Okay, we'll
I've
discuss
had-
these 3.
Okay.
Oh,
These 3, every time, I've asked for, can I please get a code article so I can research, better my team, show my guys, so I can change my ways in the future? Because I do a lot of these, and I want to be safe. I have a good reputation in the city of Troy. I don't want to have denied, not approved on my record.
Okay.
It looks bad upon me.
Okay.
To answer your question, Gary, there's some information in the packet about approvals and disapprovals,
Okay.
just so you know.
All right, any more questions for the applicant before? All right, go ahead, Celine.
Is it okay? Yeah, no, first of all, I wanted to appreciate that you're here, going through this process. And I apologize if there has been any problems. I would just say, please come to me, I'm the building official, in the future, if you have a disagreement. I will appreciate that. And all I can say is this is checks and balances. That's why we're here. The system is working.
Understood. With all due
Okay.
respect, I understand. I get it. Now, I will surely do that.
Yes, and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, but
It's okay, I do it all the time.
I'll leave it at that. I appreciate that you're here. And, I remember. I just got 60 years old, so that's why I think it's okay for me to forget a few things. No, so going back to the original concept is that for this item, the way I see it, we're voting for all future jobs, not just yours, also other people's jobs moving forward.
Right. All right, and Celine, he can see you in the city between 7 and 5:30 every day?
Yes,
To
sir.
ask those questions?
Yes.
7 to 5:30? Okay.
Anytime.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
We still in discussion?
we have to put a motion forward first. We've already talked to Mike, we've already talked to the applicant. We
I've
haven't just-
created a really valuable one, so
What's that?
I've created one for you if you're ready.
Yes, go ahead.
This was actually kind of architectural, to be honest. Go ahead.
It is. It is, so if you can mine are very long, so I'm going back to what they first said, we need to articulate and so forth, so.
Who wants to?
I don't
Matt
know,
or
Sandy, you either
Sandy?
me or you, but
Since it's architectural, I'd like Sandy to do it.
All right,
Since he's our resident architect.
A motion to approve the applicant's request, provided that insulation is using UL listed boxes per the UL recommendation. There was a size of box in here somewhere.
I think the size matters.
Yeah, well, there was a maximum area. Sorry, I'm sorry, Kathy, give me 2 seconds.
It's
here.
okay.
Were you looking at the language on the screen, Sandy? Were you looking at that language? Is that?
No, there was language that said size of box. I think it's 16 cubic inches or something. Let's say per the UL recommendation in, I don't know what the name of this document is. Per the provided UL document regarding metallic outlet boxes for use in fire-resistant rated assemblies, I can go through this with you afterwards, Kathy, are not required to be putty packed unless within 24 inches of each other.
Or back to back.
Well, that just
That
says
would be
per
within
code.
24 inches, yeah.
Do we have, you get all that, Kathy?
I believe so, yes.
Because I should, okay.
And you need a support, or did someone support it?
Before we do it, could you read back?
Yeah.
Could you
I'm
read
going
back?
to ask the maker of the motion to read it.
All right.
Okay, Sandy, could you read it back, please?
Motion to approve the applicant's request to install boxes per UL recommendation regarding metallic outlet boxes for use in fire-resistant rated assemblies. Let me know when you're ready.
Yes.
For all boxes greater than 24 inches, separated by greater than 24 inches horizontally. Period. Any boxes within 24 inches horizontally shall be putty packed,
Per code.
per this section. Yeah. It's not
Okay.
actually code, it's a recommendation.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, let's open up for discussion among the board here. Who would like to go first?
So I will, and I'm just going to say, my expectation, or One's a speculation. This code section was added, you can see that it's clouded. I assume it's directly in response to appease the request. Even in that document, as you said, these, you provided these, right, Mike? From the the construction documents. Even in that construction document on detail 5, where they say put the putty pad in, they say pad instead of pack, but same idea. Putty pad in, they note that this detail applies to 1 or 2 hour wall boxes with assemblies of 4x4 flush electrical boxes on opposite sides of walls that are not less than 24 inches separated between them. So even where they put this in, they make the same qualification that this is only required when they're closer than 24 inches apart. So I think the intent of adding it is essentially this, he's basically quoting what's in this standard, which is what that motion represents. And it sounds like that's what's been done. And maybe more so, but at least that's been done.
Okay.
Even, sorry, one more thing, even in the NEC section that was provided, I think, by the city, the informational note essentially references the same thing, talking about directories of electrical construction materials published by qualified testing laboratories, that's UL, saying that membrane penetrations on opposite side of fire-resistant walls, assemblies, for example, 24 inches minimum horizontal separation, blah, blah, blah. It essentially restates the exact UL language as well. So the NEC seems to reference it, although I think this is a commentary section, not black letter code. The UL references it, and the engineer's construction drawings reference it as well. So they all seem to be saying the same thing, and it seems to match what the contractor's done.
I have a question for you, Sandy, is being an architect and you draw plans for a hotel, do you specify what type of box, 1 hour firewall box? Do you specify the box and do you specify putty packs behind them?
No, we would specify the, in Division 7 would talk about fire-resistant penetrations and using listed assemblies. We may have specific cases, but essentially we would generally say use listed assemblies to maintain the rating through a rated wall. And that would allow the contractor some leeway as long as he's providing, as he said earlier in the submittal package, here's the putty I'm going to use, here's the red caulk, here's the box I'm going to use, and as long as those all meet the UL assemblies, they'd be approved. This is actually even adding this into the electrical section. I know that the NEC is kind of referring to it. It really is actually an architectural requirement because it's a
Rated
fire barrier, which is an architectural, not an electrical requirement. But the electrical code speaks to the fact that you're putting a hole in the wall and how that's dealt with.
Yes. Being architect, would you say like you could only put them between demising walls and hallways, or would it go everywhere?
Well, it'd only be in rated walls.
Okay.
Because if it's not a rated wall, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So like, your statement was slightly off. I know what you meant. You said every wall is rated. The demising walls between the units are rated. The demising wall from the unit to the hallway would be rated. The wall from the bathroom or the closet wouldn't be rated, wouldn't matter at all. But if any rated wall, demising wall, or corridor wall, again, within 24 inches should have the protection, and without 24 inches, I mean, I didn't read it, but the UL language specifically says, I'll just read it real quick, that it says, these metallic boxes, if you follow everything I just said, I won't read all the language, but single, double, metallic, in wood or stud walls, these metallic boxes are not required to be marked specifically as suitable for use in fire-rated resistant assemblies. So if you're spreading them out or you're putty packing them, it's okay. That's what it says.
So I got it.
I have a finishing
Okay, go
question.
finish your-
Question for Mike. This is the metal box. Is this what is used mostly, or do they have like a fiber box now that's a different 2 hour fire-rated box?
They can't use a fiber box, they can't use a plastic box, okay?
Do they make a fiber box that's 2 hour?
They make a fiber box also.
Because I was looking online, and they make a fiber box that can be back-to-back now. Is that something you know about, or is that,
I think they do.
okay.
But I think they're so expensive, they're not really cost effective.
But they could go, my question for you, Sandy, is, on your thing, is do they use a fiber box that can go closer than 24 inches?
So this section, thank you, Don. This section is specifically talking about UL-listed metallic boxes. And that's why I asked at the beginning that the gentleman confirmed that they are all metallic and they are all UL-listed.
Okay.
The next page of this section does start talking about non-metallic boxes. I didn't bother to go through any of
Okay.
that because that's
We're
not
only
the
talking
case.
metallic boxes right now. And one more question for Mike is, he's got a new hotel coming in. You review the electrical plans on it all?
Yes, I do.
And you would put on there, if they came, if Sandy drew it and he showed metal boxes or fiber boxes, we'd follow those same codes. If it's 24 inches apart and says it, they don't need this, they don't need that.
Yes.
Would you put notes on the plan?
That would apply.
Okay, all right.
The only difference with that box there, being on the hallway, being by itself, okay, is it has mounting holes in that box. If you look in it real closely,
Okay,
you'll see the red putty pack.
Yep.
You can see through it. There's a mounting hole in there. And that's, if you put that on that wall, it's exposed. And fire will follow that hole right out.
So
I'm-
I'd like
It's-
I
to
it's-
object to
I
that.
wanna
Fire
be
is
able to-
seeking the
I
air.
wanna be able to correspond to
let
him.
Mike finish first, okay?
Yeah,
Let's
fire
not
is
interrupt
seeking
him.
the air, so it will follow that hole.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying if this is mounted here and there's holes in the back of the box,
Right.
the fire's gonna go through it there?
I still,
UL rates the box, okay?
Okay.
But they don't rate it as an assembly because it's not an assembly yet.
So you're saying they rate the box, but
They
as soon
rate
as you
the
install it,
box.
the rating is gone?
But they don't rate the assembly because they don't know what the assembly is going to be.
How else could you mount the box if you don't use the mounting holes in the back?
I got one here if you want.
Oh, we're gonna get to you in a minute.
Some of them come with brackets on them.
Okay.
Just screw 'em
So
to
if
the
this came with a
sidewall.
bracket on it, Mike, there wouldn't be any holes in the back?
There
for
wouldn't be
fire.
any holes in it.
Then we wouldn't even be.
Well, there
having-
would be holes in the back yet still. That's just the way the manufacturers
So
make them.
UL listed this with holes in the back to say that it's
Correct.
fire. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes.
UL took this box with, I count 5 holes
Yes.
in the back of it. The UL listed it with that on there?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where I was trying to get to my point was, I actually reached out to Hubble, which is a manufacturer, large manufacturer internationally.
Hubble?
Yeah. And I requested some information because you all wouldn't respond to me, but I did inquire about that. And the response was that the boxes are UL tested, fire rated to 1 hour. And the electrical box, the way they pronounce it, electrical boxes must remain serviceable, accessible, and compliant with wiring methods and heat dissipation requirements. Completely sealing the metallic electrical box exceeds code intent and is not required by the NEC and is neither necessary nor appropriate for a listed fire-rated assembly installed as tested. So that was their response, but that wasn't, again, I'm kind of like what you were saying. I understand, you got the mounting holes in the back, because I kind of second-guessed myself. I'm like, wait a minute, you might have something on there, right? But they said that is the assembly that is tested with the mounting holes the way that it is. And that still is rated at 1 hour, the way that the box is with the mounting holes. And I think the other day we were talking on the sense of like the hole. Now, if the box is altered in any way, so if they add some sort of, they drill holes through it other than what's already there, or enlarge any of the knockouts and further than what they are, then it completely voids the UL.
Yeah, then you're altering the.
You're altering the UL and you're altering the fire rating
Correct.
on that. And I think it was the applicant that made a point that you're almost getting to a point where if we're going past the 1 hour rating of what the box is listed for, then everything a part of that assembly from an architectural standpoint would also be required to be further
Yeah. So
closed.
I think in simple terms, what you're saying is right. The box is tested as manufactured. If they change their manufacturing, they have to get it tested again. You're right that it's not tested as an assembly, it's tested as a series of components, right? Same thing as when, if you take a knockout and you have the the connector for the MC or conduit going in there, that piece is rated as a component.
Right.
As long as all those components are done as manufactured. You can't leave an abandoned knockout, you can't drill new holes, those are all, again, not part of this section, but have to be done correctly. And like I said, as this says, it says all UL listed single and double gang metallic boxes and outlet and switch boxes. And then it says everything I just said. So this is a UL listed metallic box in a bearing or non-bearing, in a wood or metal stud wall, are compliant for a wall rated up to 2 hours. We're talking about 1 hour, but this is up to 2 hours. So again, as long as they're 24 inches apart or they're putty packed, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So just to confirm with both of you, if he's got 80 people and one of his guys knocks out a couple of these plugs on the side, he'd have to put a putty pack on it.
You can
because
put a buddy pack on, or
you can put
there's
a
blank
plug as
covers.
well.
Or you can put a plug in there.
there's
A
plug.
UL listed plug.
Right, but that would be,
Right.
you know, if he knocked one hole in the top of the wire and also knocked two on the side by
Yep.
mistake, totally acceptable to make him, to force him to do that, to bring the box back into compliance.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we can't force them to putty pack the back where it's already been UL listed.
Correct.
Okay. All right,
Those openings are there for a reason.
yes.
Unless the engineer requests it.
Well,
Okay, unless the engineer
Okay,
requests
but
it.
hold on. Again, building codes are a minimum. The engineer can request more. If he requests more, he would have to meet his, he would have an issue on his contract, on his construction documents with his owner. He would not have an issue with the building department. If the building department, if it meets the code intent, the building department code should be satisfied. I mean, if his engineer says, I want you to use 12 gauge wire on all 15 amp circuits, even though 14 gauge is acceptable, he would have to do that, but it's an argument with his owner for the cost of 12 gauge wire, right? Not a building code problem, because a building code 15 amp outlet can use a 14 gauge wire, right? So they're two different things of what an engineer likes better than code versus what's required by code.
Okay.
So he's performing to the minimum, is what you're saying.
And if the owner says, I want it, the owner's gonna foot the bill for paying the
Right.
difference.
All
That's
the
what it
building
comes
code
down to.
review says is that you never went below the minimum. It
Yeah.
doesn't stop.
I have to talk to that,
Yeah.
may I please? So, plan review, when the original review, if the architect or the engineer exceeds the code, when we do inspections, we have to follow what the architect or the engineer requested at that point.
Right.
But it has to be through the plan review, the original plan review.
That's fair.
So-
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to go back to it, because I think, Mike, you mentioned some. So you do plan review now?
Yes.
Okay, so all plans are reviewed by, in-house by Troy, you don't outsource?
No, we have a system that's redundant on purpose, which we have a company that does our plan review, and then our in-house plans examiners check that as well
Okay.
for a reason. I don't want to explain it right now, it's a long
Right, okay.
reason, but I'll leave it at that.
I understand, okay.
All right. Chris, you got a question?
I do. I want to ask a point of clarification, I think maybe of Mike or Dominic. Are there outstanding disapprovals on this particular matter, or have they all been resolved?
They've been resolved. He has complied with what the engineer requested.
So there's no building code violation on these relative to.
On this location.
Relative to item 3
Not anymore, no.
at this point.
But, I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Well,
Kim?
so Salim, there are a couple of things that an applicant can ask for here. I mean, as this is written, he's asking for relief from the electrical inspection disapproval, which I think is not an issue anymore.
Correct.
He can also ask for a future interpretation, but that hasn't been done here, which would be the applicant's right to do that. I'm a little, but as it's being presented to us today, this is specifically tied to 2814 Rochester Road and the applicant's property. And I anticipate this issue may come up again in the future. I think the proper avenue for this would at that point be an interpretation of the code if this disagreement would still exist. I'm a little uncomfortable to give applicant, but I can be persuaded, variance for something that he's already said he's already corrected and has brought up to the standards the city requested.
Why don't we,
But he could also.
Well, he was asking me, so can I answer?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So basically, you're right. Right now, voting for this is redundant, if you want to call it that, because really it's pointless, because it's code. So we can't, like you're saying, the problem in question has been resolved. In voting for a code compliance for the future where something's already clear is redundant. It's like voting for all the codes to be applied. So the way I see it, there's no need to vote for it.
I mean, this is essentially my original question, sorry, about how the language is, because we're making motions to agree with the code. Right.
well, why don't we first bring the applicant up, see if he does have any more of these that are gonna be inspected, or if he's all done inspection? We've only heard from Mike that they're all.
Yeah, I'd be happy to hear from the applicant. I think he spoke to this already. My understanding of it is that he had already complied with this, but if I'm wrong, if there's still outstanding issues, I'd be happy to hear from you.
Would you mind coming back up, please?
So I think you've already complied with what the electrical inspector has asked for on this, and you've installed the putty packs on all these outlets.
Begrudgingly, hard. It was hard for me to do it. But I have people who depend on me, so I did it even though it's 100% wrong. And I have the documentation to prove it. Now, I have 2 8-story buildings going across the way. Am I just to take it and not have anybody hear what I'm gonna have to say? It cost me a lot of money. This is the only venue I had to voice my grievances. What was I gonna do? Was I gonna tell the people that give me all these hotels, you know what, we're gonna wait till the hearing. We're gonna try to resolve it. And these are only 3. I got 30. I don't know about 30. I have a lot more that I have a big issue with, and it needs to be resolved. And I think Salim and Mike and Dominic and Tom, who's been great, I think it should be discussed. Because here's the thing, I've been doing this for 30 years, so I can take care of myself. What about a little contractor comes into this city and just gets, because he has authority having jurisdiction? We can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. It's like letting a road cop out doing that. You can't just let somebody say, that's what I think's gonna happen, and if you wanna protest it, you can, what other avenue do I have? That's why I'm here. Because
Okay.
I got 2 more going right across the street. Right across the street, got a 7-story going up.
I'm going to go back to the original question that Chris asked, and I think I want to, just like a yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So from a rough standpoint, are you 100% done on rough on this location?
Not 100%. He has some more items that I still have
Okay.
contention with that came up.
So
prior.
there's, so for Chris's question, I'm going to say this. If we were to vote on this, and you're saying for just this location, whatever, just for this standard, okay? He can go back, I'm just saying, he could go back and replace boxes or pull the putty packs off that aren't required in those areas if he pleases, because we're voting to give him that minimum standard. Mike might have asked for it, he may have gone and, done most of them, but we don't know if he's 100% done and had that all approved. So I think we're voting based on that and moving forward, if that makes sense.
I think it makes sense, and I would like to speak to, I've heard a lot, Mr. Swanson obviously has some frustration with this process, and I appreciate that. I hear you, I understand
Appreciate you hearing
that.
me.
Pardon?
I appreciate you hearing me out.
No, that's what we're here to do, that's what I'm here to do in my official capacity, also in my capacity on this board. It's unfortunate that it got to this point. I know who you are, I know the work that you do here. The city's appreciative of that. So I'm glad you're getting your voice heard here. I'm uncomfortable with, if there's a conflict between the building department and the applicant, I just feel like this issue's sort of moot or not ripe, because I think it's been resolved. So, and I don't, if it were to come up again, I would encourage you to, if you can't get the issue resolved, you can't get it resolved through Dominic or Salim, then we're your avenue. We'll get your case heard as quick as we can. Once you've already done it, I don't know that I'm comfortable with saying that you can go back now and take those out, which
No, I'm not gonna take
which you
them
wouldn't do, because it doesn't make any
Hang
sense
on,
to do
just
that,
Hear
right?
me out, but if I go to do another one across the street, do I have to wait till there's this much abuse? And I've come up to the city 5 times, and Tom must be sick of me, and I like Tom, and Tom's been good to me. And I understand he supports his team. It is not easy to go against team members. It is not easy. It's hard to do. But at some point, somebody has to stand up and say what's right is right. He's right, you're wrong. It shouldn't have to get to here. Don't you think, Salim?
Yeah. May I
No,
talk
you
about it?
can't. Can I ask questions?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Are you done, Chris?
Yes, I think
Okay. I'm gonna
my
let
question's
Dominic-
answered, I understand his point. I
Okay.
hope
Can
you
I-
understand
I
mine.
do, 100%.
Dominic, you,
I would like to talk a
I'm
little
sorry,
bit.
not Dominic, I'm Salim, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's the same thing.
Yes, I'm looking at one, I'm over 60, I do that.
So, yeah, I wanted to add this because it's really important, and I know you will understand. We as a building department handle so many specialties, and it requires so many years, decades, to understand one specialty only. So we rely on our inspectors, and that's why we support them. That's something that we have to do. And also, we have a system in which I directed Dominic to invite you to the board. And I remember I waived the they've charged for it in an effort to have you present your
Thank you.
case.
Appreciate
And we appreciate that you're here. Like I said before, the system is working. So moving on, I would like to have more meetings with you and Mike to resolve the other items,
I'd be honest.
so it doesn't have to get to this point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
I don't have anything more for the applicant.
you good with that? Okay, you can go ahead and sit back down.
I do want to make a point during this discussion, though, and I want to make sure it's on the record for the sense that, I'm going to go back to what Mike said earlier about the grounding box, that if somebody would replace that receptacle with a non-grounding receptacle and put it into a grounding box, then it becomes it's non-grounded at that point. If somebody were to go to replace this box in that hotel assembly, it's under $100. They go and replace it and don't put a putty pack on it. Now we're not meeting that code again. So again, I'm trying to look at the fact that what you're saying and what you're looking for is above and beyond. And I understood, I respect it, because the fact is you're looking to save lives. You're looking at the safety factor within the realm. So, but I also believe what Sandy brought up and what I see as the code, the 1 hour rating that's in there is there for a reason by code. And I would say that this assembly could be altered at any point, per se. So I think, Chris, what you're saying about looking at this particular instance because of things of resolution, I don't know that it's resoluted all the way. So that's why I think we're voting and he's asking that we have some sort of resolution so that him moving forward at this address and future addresses may be streamlined without this backup.
I understand your point. I'm going to probably disagree with you, but that's why we're here.
Yeah,
That's what we're-
100%.
okay,
fine.
go ahead.
I'm assuming the plans are already approved for the two that are down the road, and none of us sitting here at this moment can say whether those plans have been approved with this as part of the engineer's stipulation. So, vote, no vote, the engineered plans are approved and they're gonna be what they're gonna be. So there still may be a situation where this is on the plans.
Well, totally different. If we're only enforcing code, the engineer says put putty packs and everything. They have to do
Right,
that.
I'm just,
Yeah.
And all I'd say,
Yeah.
Teresa, is, at least in the snips that were provided of the construction documents, they match the intent of the UL. They still allow the 24, greater than 24 inches. They still allow.
it wasn't required, it was just to
Correct.
point it
They
out for
basically,
those
all they did was write.
situations.
Right, all they did was write what was in the UL
Okay.
paper on the drawings.
Okay,
If you read just one section, it looks like putty pack all, but then it says, note, if they're more than 24 inches, you don't have to do it, which is the same language.
okay.
Chris, I have a question for you. I kind of thinking the same thing you are, that this job's already done. But if all we're going to do is come back in 2 months when the next person comes in with these same questions, because they know that we had these putty packs in there, if we're here right now, should we just fix the issue? Then go,
Can I respond to that?
yes.
I think what we started the premise of this whole meeting is that what we decide here will be the interpretation of the city of Troy going forward.
Yes.
So it will not come as another issue because we won't be able to make that violation or objection again because the city of Troy will now view it in the terms of the UL listing.
So if we
Or
vote, if we vote no,
If we have passed this.
if we don't pass this, that means putty packs have to be put on
Well,
because of these 5 holes on
It
there.
would still allow the inspector the leeway to require it.
Yes.
It would not require it.
Right, but if we vote yes, then any futures, because of the 5 holes in the back, don't need to put it because they're UL listed.
Right, as long as you're following the spacing and all that stuff.
Right.
They wouldn't allow Mike to make that objection again.
So since we have it here, we have to either vote yes or no. We can't just say, let's just throw 3 away
We
because
could
it's gone.
we could table it or postpone it. Your appellant has it.
But we already voted, moved it, carried it.
Well, we could
you could
alter the vote
I
to
think we
say,
can still void it.
I'm not asking to vote to table this. I wouldn't request that.
right,
My inclination is to vote no on this for the reasons that I.
right,
that I
because it's
stated.
already done.
Because yes, correct, the work has been done. I appreciate the fact that he did it, and it's he was in a bit of between a rock and a hard spot, but these issues are better addressed by this body before the work is done.
But we could just be kicking the can down the road because next month he could come back and say, hey, I've got this building here.
Very well could be.
Okay.
I can't speak to that.
No.
I think there's been enough discussion about this, and I'd hope there's been direction between both the building department and the applicant that this issue would be resolved. If not, would be the proper avenue, I think, to address it then.
Dominic, I have a question for you then. If this were to come, excuse me, not Dominic, Sling. If this were to come back to our board again in another month, would he have to pay a fee to get this whole board back here again?
I can
Or-
waive that in an effort to have compliance and a satisfied contractor.
So there's a chance if we vote no, because this building is already done, he just comes back to you tomorrow and says, I'll go on the board because I have such and such job that's coming up and I want to be resolved on it.
So basically, like I explained to him, you know, we can sit down and have further meetings with him
Yeah,
to
you
resolve these
four guys
items.
all talk it out, and it's just like this side says no, this side says yes, and boom, he'll come back to our board
And
again.
I
Okay.
would, if I could, Slim, I think the appropriate point of that, before he got too far into construction, would be to ask for an interpretation ahead of time.
Yes,
Not to get a violation. If he could ask, I think it'd be appropriate to ask this board for an interpretation of that.
Correct.
That rule.
Correct.
Then we could weigh on it before he got too far down the road and caused any backups or delays in the project. Would that be appropriate?
Yes, so I understand why he kept going. Most contractors want to comply with the inspectors and also because of a construction schedule. But like I was saying, I would strongly suggest that we sit down with more meetings for future jobs.
so you feel you guys can hash this out before we ever have to come back for here?
Correct.
If it has to come back in, but his
Yes.
option always is to come back, and I'm only saying if he gets voted no. If he gets voted yes,
Because it's,
it is what it is, it's all done.
And I also want to mention to your point is that in 7 years I've been the building official, this is really the first case that's related to the building code. So that's a good
We've had some
record.
before you were here. Yeah. We've had some, right, Teresa? You've been here, what, 37 years with me? 36 years we've been on this board?
Since she was
I'm
2
not
years old.
60 yet.
Gary, all I'd say is if we do vote no, he's already compliant, there's no violation, he doesn't have to come back in a month.
No, I know, but I'm only
yes, I
feeling for
agree.
his next ones. If he can't get through with the building officials, then he would come back.
Then
to
we
this
come back
board.
here. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and it wouldn't be, since we voted no now, it's not like it's forever, because we're only voting on this one address.
correct.
Correct.
So,
And to
the next-
Chris's point is that if we vote, I mean, if you guys vote for this, it's like voting for the whole code because
Yeah.
it's already code.
Yes, okay,
This,
all right. Teresa,
no,
I'm going to bring you up in a minute.
just, I don't want us to bind the inspector and to not have the ability to, what were his words? The reliable and effectiveness interpretation of the code. This one's a tough one, it's fire, I don't know why this one's touching different than the electrical side. I just don't want to bind the inspector to not be able to be effective in interpretation.
Okay.
And since this is resolved, I don't, yeah.
I would rather have Dominic, Celine, Mike, contractors sit down and figure it out, so we're not making, just like you said, because this job is already done. If it comes back to us, we'll interpret it.
Right.
That's if we vote no. We vote yes, then it's all done. Okay. You wanted to say something? Would you like to please come up and keep it short?
Real quick, and I understand the point of not wanting to bind, tie his hands. Imagine a police officer and then somebody just says, you know what, we're not gonna bind him. It makes zero sense. This board should be able to say, this contractor is right or he's wrong. And that's what I'm looking for, validation. If you say he ain't, it frustrates me that there is even a question here. I can't even fathom somebody saying, if you vote no, what does that mean? All this work I've done, all that money I spent is, and I came up to the city 4 times, 5 times, and now I'm up here. I want somebody to say, you're right, Bill. You didn't need to do it. And on the next one, you don't have to putty pack it if you meet that intent. And you don't have to put brown pigtails in. And you don't have to cannibalize that UL rated fixture. I spent a lot of time to get up here. And with all due respect from everyone here, I'm grateful that you took the time. I'm worried about the next guy down the street. That one across the street, I'm designing it. My company, it's a design build project. So I'm gonna design it to basic code. I need to know if I'm gonna come up here, what direction the city's gonna take. Is Michael gonna do the code review and say you're gonna putty pack everything in that building? Or is the city gonna say, Salim, are you gonna say, if it's not code, you can't force it? You can put whatever notes you want on there, but you better be sure those notes on those documents
Okay.
meet code.
We don't, hold on, we don't know those answers. My colleague here just said, this job is based on this address. We're having a hard time voting on something that's already done. That's
Well,
my
it's
take
not
on it.
100% done. My first floor is not done. So there is more,
Okay.
and I got a lot more inspection. The roof is done, and I'm already getting callbacks. So real quick, and I sent out an email today.
Hold on a
So,
second. You conflicting, because this is all done at the rough, right? Putty
No,
packs.
it was until I got another violation that I already had my
You
approval
just said
for.
the first floor
Hold
wasn't
on.
done.
What's that?
You just said the first.
I asked you a question, we
Yes,
asked you
sir.
earlier, is the job already all finished for rough? Are you gonna
I
have
don't
any
know,
more?
Michael, is my rough 100%? Do I have anything that I have to go back? Do you have anything you're waiting on?
Let me keep it, this, I'll let you talk to Michael. This box, is he gonna go back anytime this year yet on that apartment and say, you gotta putty
Yeah,
pack
he's
those?
got to do, I think there's some on the first floor he has to do,
Okay,
if I'm not
so
mistaken.
your answer saying it was completed, 100% done, and you just wanna know about future is not true. It's, you do have more inspections coming back
I
for him
believe
to
so,
look
yeah.
at these.
Yep.
Okay, does that change you at all, Chris, now? Because he's gonna have more times coming in.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was done. I heard from Mike that it was done, and I thought I heard from you that the building is done. So this was just airing out that I already did it all. I already spent $9 for the putty pack and $4 to install them. But you could have another 100 boxes to put in on the first floor?
I don't know if it's, I don't think it's 100%. The
50.
pool rooms aren't done, yeah, so
Okay,
the
so there's
kitchens aren't
another-
done, the kitchen, I believe there's some kitchenettes that aren't done.
So
I
there
think
could be
there's
another-
stairwells that aren't done.
So there could be
I am
another
not done.
50 or 100 boxes that have to come in.
However many.
That if he did the rest of the building, he'd be required to do this. Now, engineer says do it, it's all done, because the owner and the engineer and stuff, but we have to decide if he can say, if he's got even one box to put in, and Mike comes in and says, hey, it's not putty packed, we're not doing we're doing a disservice for the applicant, because it's either, I mean, while we're here, we might as well go on it. And like I said, I thought at first, building was done, drywalled, and we're just worrying about finishes now. But it sounds like there's still roughs. Is that
That's what I understood too.
is that what you understand? Celine?
Yeah, I wasn't aware that there was still work to be done, so if that's the case, I think it's a good idea to vote for this
Okay.
specific address.
All right. Any more questions for the applicant? Okay, go ahead. Oh,
I want to make sure the applicant did understand, because he brought up,
come back up here.
he brought up the other issues that were already for, that he's already succeeded on the first two cases we brought up here. You understand that, correct?
What's that?
Do you understand that the first two cases are in your favor?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
'Cause
Thank you.
You did make a motion sounding like boom, boom, boom. So just, it's okay. There's a lot of motions going on today. Let's just,
Fair enough.
okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, so more boxes have to be installed in this, which I thought it was completely 100% done. So it's not a finish, so we can vote on this as not being finished, correct? Is that how you guys take it?
I think it's probably more appropriate for a vote to be held. I think this is still a moot issue. I don't know if that's going to change my vote, but I think
Okay.
it's appropriate to have the vote.
Okay.
It should not be tabled at this point.
Okay. Any more? Sandy, good? Teresa? Anybody have any questions? Do we have any questions for Mike before we take a vote? I just want to make sure nothing. Anybody from the audience wants to talk? We have a new person came in. Anything she wants to bring up? No? Okay. Kathy?
Ready?
Let me just get this straight. It's been a little bit. A yes vote means, just like we did before. No vote means yes. Okay. Go ahead, take the vote, please.
Mr. Wilson?
No.
Mr. Abathera?
Yes.
Ms. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Jezerman?
Yes.
And Mr. Friesen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Pass. Thank you.
Getting jumpy there.
I am. All right, we're going to go to our next line. It's called communications. Do we have any communications to talk about?
We do have one case for next month, just so you're aware.
Fence, sign,
No,
building code?
it'll be another building code issue.
For real?
Man, Teresa, we're going to have building code in 10, 12 years.
I've been doing this
Yeah.
almost, yeah.
Hey, I'm excited about this.
All right, well, it's more fun. It's more fun than the fence. I'll give you that. This is it, man. We got to really sharpen ourselves up here.
Can I make one comment? to
Yes.
that? Has the agenda already been written for that meeting?
It has not.
Or the notices have not been?
Pardon me?
Or the notice or the agenda has not been written for
That
that?
has not been written yet, correct.
But two different things.
I know exactly what you're saying, Chris.
The notices, wait, there's two different things there. Have the notices been sent already?
No, I have just received the application.
Okay.
Those should be going out next week.
Got it.
I would maybe just suggest as a talking point, and because these cases are different. And again, it's 23 years, this is the second one of these I've ever had to sit through doing this, and they shouldn't come up that often, because they just don't. Fences we do all the damn time. I think it would be probably helpful, and they might streamline this process. I understand when we're dealing with residents and fence applications and what's the other one, friggin' signs. We take a lot of the burden to put this together. I think it would be incumbent upon the applicants in this case to write what they're asking for. I think there was some confusion from the first notice that I got, and it was slightly different. And I think particularly on case one, I think it made a fundamental difference in fact between what was in my notice and then what was in the official one that we voted on tonight. And my vote might have well been different based upon that. But I think it would be better for this body to have the applicants put down the relief that they're seeking, not have the building department take that responsibility.
Okay.
Because it is ultimately the applicant's case.
Right, right.
And we're a homeowner of the fence, okay, we hold their hand through that. But in this matter, especially on commercial construction, I think it's really incumbent upon the applicant to put down what they're seeking. I think it would have helped us a bit tonight. It would have had more streamlined communication, not have the city interpret what they think the applicant is asking for, have them specifically put down the relief that they're having and have us vote directly on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, we did it the way we don't normally do these because these are rare, but I think in specific cases where we have interpretations of the building code, we need to put the burden on the applicant to request a specific relief that we can vote on.
We appreciate your request. Yes, thank you.
If the others disagree, feel free to think I'm off base, but that was
second
my,
that.
Agreed. We're only
Third.
talking on the building code.
only on the building
Yeah,
code
not the
case.
fence and not the.
On the
sign.
fences and sign, we need to help the people through
Yes,
that. But
okay.
on this, particularly commercial applications,
Especially in this situation, because they're knowledgeable
Yeah, okay.
in a way, yes.
yes, they know the relief they're asking the board for. And so I think it would frankly help them to put
Yes.
together their arguments that they have to narrow this down to the relief they're asking for
Okay.
from this body.
I do have a question for you, Salim. Is when we talking about anything with fire, should we have a fire person here or no?
Well, what happens is that the building code official, we also enforce the fire code.
Okay,
In fact, we have more authority than the fire department. We can override the fire department, except in maintenance. In construction, we can.
okay, because the last one we had was a fire-related one with,
It was the nursing
Fire
home
rated
with the signs or something, wasn't it?
no, it had to do with venting and automatic stoppers of fire. We had the fire official here
Yeah.
giving us
Yeah.
his.
So I'm not saying that they can't be here, but technically we should be able to, be sufficient for it. But if you think that in one case it's requested, we could invite them, but they're mostly going to be here as an invited party.
Okay, that's fine.
Can I
think
ask
at
a
the end of the
question,
day,
can I ask a question related to
Sure.
that? Because you said in the past, like fences and so forth get reviewed by the DPW, so do plans like this get reviewed by?
So what happens is
Fire.
that fences and signs in other cities are done by ZBA. And Troy is practically one of the few that does it through the BCBA.
Okay. All right. Is there any more communications? If not, I'm going to move forward. Any public comment? Anybody from the public like to make a comment? Seeing none? Miscellaneous business. Obviously, you told us we got a meeting next month. Is it-
Possibly.
Well, it'll be next month, right? The
It-
May meeting.
Potentially, yes. I have an application.
Okay. All right. Anything else somebody wants to talk about? And we're all set with our dates this year. Because we've missed a few months. We're all good with all those dates, right? All right. Going to adjourn the meeting. Adjourn.